first part, yesterday I have already uploaded the first part. So today we are right here with human reproduction part 2. This is for class 12. So before that I would like to introduce myself. Myself Kakoli Saha from DAB Public School, CCL Girirdi. So children, let's start today. So today we will start with the male reproductive system. What we are going to start with the male reproductive system. Before going into the male reproductive system, I would just like yesterday in my previous video, I have already shown you that chart where I mentioned about that primary reproductive structure of the males, that is the testis. So today again we are going into that. So this, listen carefully, this is the testis, the male reproductive system. These are the few things which you have to remember. First is the testis. You can see now, if it is not visible, it is testis. Now this testis, then again the another component which is to be taken into consideration in the male reproductive system is the accessory glands. Means along with the testis, there are certain glands also associated with the male reproductive system, and they are known as accessory glands. Is it clear? Okay. Now, this will be accessory ducts. These are what? Accessory ducts. It should be accessory ducts. So, along with the testis, what are associated? You have some associated accessory ducts. Means the duct system is there. Then there are several glands also, associated glands also. And ultimately, what? There are certain structures which are known as external genitalia. What it is known as? External genitalia. So, again I am repeating, the male reproductive system consists of a pair of testes. So, it's there. There are several duct systems associated with the male reproductive system. They are known as accessory ducts. Then there are certain glands also associated with it. So, we have taken it as glands, and there are certain structures which become a part of the human reproductive system, the male reproductive system, that is exposed outside the body, and they are being represented by external what? By external genitalia. What? External genitalia. So, I hope you must have understood till now. Now, you don't get confused with what I have drawn. I am there to explain it to you all. But you have to remember what I mentioned yesterday. That yesterday I mentioned now that the testis is the primary reproductive structure. So this part, children, this part you see, this is actually a simplified diagram of the male reproductive system. This is quite different from NCERT because whatever is given in NCERT, that you have to do it. But it is quite jumbled up the things. So the simplified form has been drawn over here to make you understand. Once you understand this simplified form, then what you will get that diagram very nicely. So you listen to it carefully. Now see children, this part is being representing the testis. What it is representing? It is representing the testis. A pair of testis, and what? It is enclosed or it is placed in sac-like structure, that is known as scrotum sac. A pair of testis is there in a sac-like structure. That sac-like structure is known as scrotum sac. Why scrotum sac? Because, and I have told you all yesterday, that this testis, where it is located outside the abdominal cavity, outside the abdominal cavity. Why? Because there is a reason behind it. Because sperm at the time of its production in the testis needs a temperature lower than the body temperature, and this body temperature at the body temperature, sperm, if it is produced, it would lose its viability. So at the time of production, sperm needs a temperature 2.5 degrees Celsius lower than the body temperature. So it is outside the abdominal cavity and placed in scrotum sac, which acts as thermoregulator. So these two things we have mentioned. Now in this diagram you will see there is one structure over here, this part I will tell you. Then you can see this structure now, this structure. But before going into this structure, if we cut a section of the testis, what we have to see? Sectional view of the testis. Before going into this, I'll come into the sectional view of the testis. If we take a section of the testis, then inside the testis, what you are going to see, children? You see inside the testis, this is the sectional view of the testis. Inside the in the sectional view, what you will see? You will see certain compartments. What you can see? You can see certain compartments. See, these are the compartments. Where? In the sectional view of the testis. That much you remember? Then you come here. Then this compartment in the sectional view, this compartment, you know what they are known as? Testicular lobules. What it is known as? Testicular lobules. So, what it is? These are the lobules. What? These are the lobules which is present in the testicular lobules. Now, inside this, always remember, in a testis there are how many compartments? About 250, like this. How many compartments? 250 compartments, that lobules. Okay, that those compartments. And inside those compartments you will find 2 to 3 coil structure, means convoluted structures, and they are known as what, children? They are known as seminiferous tubule. What it is known as? Seminiferous tubules. What they are known as? Seminiferous tubules. ठीक है, अब समझ में आया? पहले देखो टेस्टिक्यूलर लोब्यूल्स था, सी, हाँ, ठीक है, these were the testicular lobules. Then you see there are certain coil structures, 1 to 3 seminiferous tubules inside each compartment. They are known as seminiferous tubules. What they are known as? Seminiferous tubules. And seminiferous tubule is the site. This is the site, children. Always remember, this is the site in the testis. This is the site in the testis where you will see the spermatozoa. What? Spermatozoa are produced. What are produced? Spermatozoa. Means ultimately they will get transformed into the spermatids and sperms. We will go into it afterwards. But this is the site, seminiferous tubules, where the spermatozoa is produced. And you know, in a male attains the capacity of producing the sperms or the male gamete once it has crossed that puberty or reached that puberty stage, not from the birth. So always remember that. So you can see this seminiferous tubules, what? These seminiferous tubules have the capability of what? Of producing the spermatozoa. And one thing remember, this seminiferous tubules, okay, this seminiferous tubules, the inner walls of the seminiferous tubules, two kinds of cells are there. Two kinds of cells are there in the seminiferous tubules. What are they? They are male germ cells. What are they? Male germ cells. And the second is Sertoli cells or Sertoli cells, whatever it is. So again I am repeating, sectional view of the testis, you will find several compartments. Those compartments are known as testicular lobules. Okay, in a testis there are about 250 compartments or testicular lobules. Inside the testicular lobules, you can see these are the testicular lobules. Inside these testicular lobules, you will find 2 to 3 coil structures inside it. They are known as seminiferous tubules. What are they known as? Seminiferous tubules. And seminiferous tubule is the site where the spermatozoa are produced, And one more thing you have to remember, that the seminiferous tubules is comprising of two types of cells towards the inner side. And what are those two types of cells? The first one is known as the male germ cells and the second is known as Sertoli cell. What is the second one known as? Sertoli cell. These male germ cells will be responsible for producing the spermatozoa, and this Sertoli cell, I tell my children, always remember Sertoli means supporting, means they provide nourishment to the male germ cells. Now, next what is going to happen? We will see to that. Now see children, the sperms means the spermatozoa, after its production through the seminiferous tubules, it will get collected in a region, this region. Okay, can you see this region? Okay, this region is known as retitestis. What it is known as? Retitestis. This particular, all the seminiferous tubules from the lobes will be pouring their spermatozoa in a space known as retitestis. What it is known as? Retitestis. From the retitestis, it will get into some ducts. Duct-like structure. They are what they are known as vasa efferentia. What they are known as? Vasa efferentia. Retitestis, from the seminiferous tubules, retitestis. Then you see certain duct-like structure. They are known as vasa efferentia. And from the vasa efferentia, it will come to this part, the most important part. And this part is known as epididymis. What it is known as? Epididymis. So, further transformation of this spermatozoa takes place in the epididymis part. From the epididymis, it will make its way through the vas deferens. This is what? Vas deferens. What it is, children? Vas deferens. So, cephalocalyx, testicular lobules, seminiferous tubules, retitestis, vasa efferentia, फिर कहाँ आया? Epididymis. Epididymis के बाद vas deferens. कहाँ आया? Vas deferens. So this was all about the structure, all this about the structural view or the sectional view. Now let us go into this simplified diagram. This is the testis now, children. Sperm produced here, spermatozoa produced here. This is the epididymis. From the epididymis, you see it is making its way through the vas deferens. Through the vas deferens. देख रहे हो? Through the vas deferens, this spermatozoa is coming. Now, you can see a formation of a loop over a structure. Which structure? This structure is known as urinary bladder. What it is known as? Urinary bladder, where the urine is stored. And this urinary bladder is making its way out through a tube-like structure, which is known as urethra. What it is known as? Urethra. This is the vas deferens carrying the sperm. So, making a loop over the urinary bladder. Then what you will see, this vas deferens, point will come in the way, means this is inside this vas deferens. Everything, this is outside the abdominal cavity. Okay, till the epididymis. Then what you will see, means till the vas efferentia, this part, what you will see? Outside the body. Then after that you see this is inside the body, means going inside the abdomen. Everything is inside the abdominal cavity. So this is coming through the vas deferens. In the way, when it is about to meet the urinary bladder, there, I told you, certain glands are present. It will meet a vesicle known as seminal vesicle. What it is known as? Seminal vesicle. Paired vesicle, okay? Always remember. This seminal vesicle, okay, and you remember this produces a fluid which is rich in fructose, calcium and enzyme. Why? Because the sperm traveling such a great distance needs some energy, needs some nutrition, needs fluidity for continuation of its life or continuation of its traveling path to get the energy for all, because it ultimately has to reach to the female genital tract. That should be the ultimate target. So this seminal vesicle will open this vas deferens and seminal vesicle through a common duct. That duct is known as ejaculatory duct. See, it has become common. It will open into where? Into the urethra, where it will open into the urethra. There is one more gland is there, that is the prostate gland. It is also pouring its secretion over here in the ejaculatory duct. Then you have a pair of bulbourethral gland duct also. You know, this is responsible for the lubrication of the penis. It is given in your NCERT book. So what you will see, this urethra is the common passage for what? The sperm as well as the urine. The sperm as well as the urine. So this passage, through this passage, and you know, once the sperm get mixed with the secretion of seminal vesicle and prostate gland, that entire thing is known as semen. What it is known as? Semen. With all the components, that is fructose, calcium ions, enzymes, other components, along with the sperm, when it comes and meets with the seminal vesicle, prostate gland and bulbourethral gland, that entire component is no longer known as sperm, it is the semen. So what is given out through the urethra? You will see, this is the penis, what it is. This is the external genitalia penis, and above it you have a foreskin present, and through the urethra, this urethra is a common passage in male for the discharge of urine as well as sperm, that is semen. So this is now, one more thing is left, important thing is left, which I forgot to mention over here. I told you only that the seminiferous tubules, what? Seminiferous tubules consist of two types of cells, that is the male germ cell and Sertoli cells. Haven't I told you? Male germ cells will become the male gamete, the spermatozoa, and Sertoli cells is giving nourishment, supporting it. Now, in between the seminiferous tubules, there is a space. If the seminiferous tubules are like this coiled structures, or this a coiled structure, you will find space in between two seminiferous tubules, okay, and this space is known as interstitial cells. Okay, interstitial space, actually it is known as interstitial space, consisting of interstitial cells, or Leydig cell, or what it is known as Leydig cell. Now, the testis is not only responsible for producing the male gamete, it is also responsible for producing the male hormones, that is the androgens. And who produces it? This Leydig cell is responsible for the production of androgens, the male hormones. And you know, testosterone, you know, that is the male hormone which you have studied. So, Leydig cell, where in the space between two seminiferous tubule, and that Leydig cell is responsible for producing testosterone. So children, I have given the matter which is present in NCERT, nothing less, nothing, a little bit more I have given to make you all understand. Please go through it, and if you have any query, please get your doubt cleared, and I hope you must have followed. So with this, the next part 3, most probably tomorrow or day after tomorrow, will be taking up the female reproductive system. And till then, study the contents nicely. Stay safe, stay indoors. God bless you.